Hey everybody, welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. We've got these couple loads of chert base rock we dumped over here. In the last video we were at the barn. We've just got a general mess and we're just going to try to make it generally nice. Step one, let's get these things out of the way.
So this is an old Jeep frame, and we do have a project planned for this Jeep frame. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the video.
Here's the plan. We got that stuff out of the way. We got this base rock over here. We're wanting to just do a little area over here to where I can mill and split and not be in the mud. But this chert rock makes great base rock. It really, really does. It's got a lot of sand. It's got a lot of this bigger round stone in it, but it does have this red clay in it. When that red clay is on there, you can see it gets wet and it just makes kind of a mess. So it's a great base rock, but you don't want to leave it as the top stone.
And this white rock here is plenty thick. So we're just going to take the old trusty John Deere 755 compact tractor, push this white rock off out of the way, backfill the low spots with the chert rock, and then use the white rock we pushed out of the way to sprinkle on top of all of it. So this is an old steel spool. They had orange conduit on it for fiber optic line. When they ran the fiber optic through the county, they stored all their stuff down at Dirt Perfect slots, and this was left down there, and he was nice enough to let me have it. And I cut some of the steel out for the Wappa Choppa modification that we did quite a while ago. I'll put the link to that video in the description if you want to check it out. We've got a little bit of steel left. I'm going to cut some out of this at some point in the future and then just take the rest down to his scrap pile. But I do have a little bit of an opinion poll for you guys. If you have a compact utility tractor or subcompact utility tractor, I'm going to save up a little bit of money for this winter for a project. We love this John Deere 755. It is an absolute workhorse and we have no intention of getting rid of it. But I do want to save up a little bit of money, another little coffee can fund, and do either one of two modifications to it this winter. I either want to put a quick attach on the front so we can switch in and out between bucket or forks or other implements we might make for the front, or I want to do a Power Beyond hydraulic, remote hydraulic, whatever you want to call it, for the back, separate from the loader controls, so that, you know, for a log splitter or any kind of hydraulic functions on a possible implement. So I'm just kind of curious if you guys have those, the Power Beyond for the hydraulics out the rear or the quick attach on the loader. Which one do you use more? Which one would you recommend that I put on this tractor first? We absolutely love it. We plan on keeping it, so I want to put a little work into it to make it that much more user-friendly and effective for the property.
right, so we've got that pushed out how I want it there as far as the chert goes. We're gonna finish out that little pile, then we'll start getting this white rock spread around, see how it all turns out. All right, so we got the chert spread up pretty much how we want it with the loader. We're gonna make a few rounds with that little pulverizer. Then we'll get started on that white rock. Here's what we're going to end up with. The chert shows through in a few places, but that is fine. We just wanted enough of the white rock on top to keep us from sticking to it, and I think that'll do just fine. We got this little area through here now, and of course this was the front area. We're over that way a little further. We're also over that way a little further as well. So to see how this is all going to play out, let's start putting stuff where it belongs. I'm going to do a little handwork real quick, and then we'll start putting stuff where it belongs.
So if you're new to the channel or you just missed it in past videos, this is actually my wife's four-wheeler from high school. It sat in a barn for over a decade, and we finally drug it out to the house several months ago. We've just been kind of tinkering with it, getting it going. Something wrong with the starter solenoid today, but one pull gets her going, so that's good. I do actually have new tires to put on this thing now that we got it running pretty decent. We're going to put a little bit of new rubber on it, and that'll be an upcoming video, and probably a pretty comical one, I'm guessing.
So we're going to cut, remember that video we did about burning stumps? We cut this dead tree down. We're going to cut this in half and use this for runners or skids or whatever you want to call it for the logs that we're going to save to mill in the future. I have to tell you the funniest comment, which if you haven't seen, that video is doing very well actually for me right now, which is always exciting when you put the work into it. It does well. But the funniest comment on there I got was a guy who said I was a con because there's no way that grass would ever grow any faster than 3 years. 3 years it would take to get grass to grow over those stumps. That was probably the funniest comment out of the whole video. All the sketchy, where the heck did this wrench go? All the sketchy, weird things we did in that video. That guy was concerned about me saying the grass was gonna grow. Anywho, let's cut this in half. We'll just do the old eyeball here. Probably right about right here.
So I'm getting ready to offload some logs that I got from my parents' house. If you remember a few videos ago, we cut down 2 dead trees at my parents' house, and it was a little sketchy, but we got the job done. I'll put the link to that video in the description if you want to check it out. Now, a few people have asked for a little extra content or bonus content, and I did make a video of getting these logs into the truck, which was quite the adventure because I didn't have any equipment at my parents' house to do it with. So if you want to check that out, it'll actually be at the end of this video when it's all said and done. And whenever I say thanks for watching and catch you on the next one, there'll be about a 7-minute video of how we got these logs into the back of this truck. So you may stick around for that if you're interested. real life Mike's going to touch base on this frame in just a little bit towards the end of the video, but I figured I'd jump in here real quick. This is from an old Jeep we had, and the Jeep had a lot of other issues. We ended up pretty much selling and scrapping everything off of it, and then saving the frame. And originally, the idea was to make a drag box to pull behind the tractor that we could offset grade with, which is why we kept the steer axle on that. However, we ended up acquiring a propane welder slash generator from Dirt Perfect and decided we'd be better off making a trailer for that welder slash generator and doing it that way. So we finally got enough materials up for the next step in that project, and we've been wanting to work on this for quite a while, so I'm pretty excited. We should be getting going on this sometime this month for the next phase anyway, which will be getting everything cleaned up, shaved off, the hitch on, everything painted up, and probably a new axle on. I think I'm just going to put a new axle on. I don't want to go through all the trouble making this thing and end up having an old axle and right off the bat have hub issues or bearing issues. So I figure we'll go ahead and just throw a new axle on, or a decent used one I can find off Marketplace maybe, or Craigslist, and get going on this thing. Anyway, that's the story on this little project. Definitely something we'll be making a video about in the future. Keep hearing this thing scurry around. Where's he? Right there. You guys see him? There he goes. Yeah, all right. He's gonna be really disappointed here in just a little bit. Timber and other things. A bar, please. Thank you. Good enough, right? All right, so I think we got this project all wrapped up. I'll give you a real quick tour of what we ended up with. So on this side of the pad over here, we're gonna start, I'll probably get another dead tree and put 2 more skids out, but we're gonna start storing all the timber for future milling operations. And on this side, if you remember, and I'll throw an info card up, when we went to Mom and Dad's house, we cut down 2 dead trees. And this is some holly, and I'm not 100% sure what this is. Maybe you guys can be the judge of that and tell me. But anyway, we're gonna start storing
future milling timber along here. I do have the stuff to put on the ends and the knots to seal it up, and I need to get that done pretty soon. I may do that later this week actually, but plenty of room. I'm going to cut a little metal off this old spool, and then the rest of that's going down to a scrap pile for Dirt Perfects, and then we'll have this whole stone pad area right here to do all our milling, so we don't have to do that in the mud, and that'll be nice. We have the firewood section right here, so we can split everything on the stone and not be in the mud. Plenty of room to get a truck or side-by-side or four-wheeler tractor, whatever, through there and through there. And then we widen this over just a little bit so we can put the Wappa Chopper right here, which is a small little bush hog we modified. I'll throw that info card up as well if you want to check that out. But we can keep the Wappa Chopper here, and we can put the pulverizer, back it up here, keep both of them on the stone, out of the mud, out of the weeds, which I'm excited about. Now the front access to the garage door is wide open with everything stored off to the side. We widen this little area out just enough that I can get the truck over here. The truck is not my daily driver, so it pretty much stays at the barn unless I need it. And then we slid this frame over here. This is a 1977 CJ7 Jeep frame. The Jeep was totaled years ago. We took the tub off. We saved the frame for a project, this project. This is a propane powered welder slash generator, and we're gonna make a trailer using the welder to put the welder on the trailer. That's an upcoming project as well, but it's out of the way of the garage door now. So we're gonna call that pretty good progress. I'm pretty happy with it. All in all, 2 loads of chert and the fuel to do it, about $100. So that's a pretty big addition of usable space for $100. You know, maybe one day we'll extend it out that way. Maybe one day we'll put a lean-to on the back, but honestly, I'm just thankful to be able to use what we have. And that's gonna be it for this one, guys. As always, thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys on the next one. So we just pulled up to Mom and Dad's. We backed in here. We took those 2 dead trees off the hill. And if you remember, I saved a couple pieces of those trees over on that pad. But check this out. They've had some work done. That looks sharp. They had these creek rocks on a bank that went all the way across like that. And they kind of got tired of being billy goats and climbing all over those rocks and weeding those rocks. So they decided just to have a wall put up, and I think we're gonna pour a concrete pad back here, but that looks super sharp. Anyway, that's the first time I've seen it, so I'll check that out real quick. So here's the logs we're looking at. Nothing crazy, just a few smaller pieces. That is a section of that holly, and I'm not 100% sure what that is, but I wanted to take it with me anyway. So we're gonna see if we can get the truck, maybe we can get the truck backed in right around here somewhere. Let's see what happens. Well, we don't have too far to go, but I didn't bring a whole lot of stuff with me. I think I've got to come along in that box maybe. Maybe a few ratchet straps. We'll see how this goes. Let's see here. We do have a come along. Toe strap. Let's see which way we want to do that. That'll probably work. Oh yeah, maybe I'll just do that. Maybe I'll just roll this one. Easy there, sweetie. Oh yeah. Maybe. Well. There. Scared me. Oh, where are you going? Look at this little fella. Maybe we just do it that way. That'll get us pretty close. Fixing to find out, all right. That'll work. We got those two in. I'm trying to figure out if I got enough room for this guy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like a big old lever. Roll it. Oops. Here's what we got, everything laying in back. We'll get that out to the barn. You probably already saw that footage of getting it off the truck actually at the barn. But I want to go over these safety cables I got for the camera. In case you missed a video where I lost the GoPro, I decided to get some of these. Fan or subscriber or friend suggestions, whatever. Anywho, you can see it's just steel cable. It has a Cody on it, has a loop on one end. Little mini carabiner on the other end. The carabiner seems a little chintzy though. I do think I'm gonna get a little bit better carabiner, but here's a general principle. You guys have one on you right now. I just put the longest one on you, but you just take it and you wrap it around something solid like so. That's what I'm talking about, those carabiners. A little chintzy. I'm gonna have to get some better ones, but you get the general idea. Hooks on the A-pillar or whatever pillar. This is clearly not the A-pillar, this is the back of the truck. Anyway, let's imagine this is the dozer, this is the roll bar or roll protection, and that's the top of the dozer, and I sit you up top, and you're going down the road. And you fall off. Look, I still have you guys. I think it will work better than nothing, because nothing's what I've been using, and that hasn't been working very well at all. So I'm pretty excited about this. Anyway, thought I'd share that with you, this little adventure of getting the logs in the back of the truck and that kind of stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed the extra footage. As always, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.